Alright, so I am recording this on Friday, December 13th, and the plan originally was that I was going to record a video here to update the NBA Cup bracket, with the things that I got wrong, and then make the predictions from there on who's going to win in the next round. But it's not really necessary because I actually got every single game right. So I guess still wanted to make this video so I could flex on that a little bit. The Bucks did end up beating the Magic, Thunder ended up beating the Mavs, the Rockets ended up being the Warriors, and the Hawks ended up being the Knicks. All these games are pretty close for the most part. The OKC over the Mavs one was actually probably the least close, if I can remember correctly. I don't know if it is by the final score. Oh yeah, it was 14-point game at the end. I thought maybe it might have looked a little bit closer there at the end than it actually was, but no, the final score was not very close either. But yeah, for those who did not watch last video, for the subsequent rounds, I actually have the Thunder in the championship against the Hawks, and I have the Thunder winning the whole thing. But yeah, I already said all that. So instead, for this video, I don't know when this will come out. That NBA Cup stuff that I just did there might be a little bit dated by the time I release this video, because I do have to edit it playing this game, which is now the new plan for today. A little trivia: I haven't played one of these before, in a video at least. I played kind of a different version on the same website of NBA Grid game, but not this one. But I thought this one looked really fun, especially with the 100 to 249 points, meaning for each of these 5 teams, the Spurs, the Pacers, the Jazz, the Raptors, and the Bucks, I have to think of a player who has scored exactly that amount of points for that team on their career, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to do, but I'm going to try to, and I think it might be fun, so we'll see. I want to see if I can do the untimed, because I always like to do that on this website. Seems like a lot of the quizzes, the timers are really short for how slow I like to go, but maybe I'm just going to have to do it, because I don't see an option for untimed. Since over here I think is going to be the hardest, let's just start over here on the right. So debuted in the 2010s for the San Antonio Spurs. It's going to be Kawhi Leonard. Can I just type anywhere? Oh, it fills them in. Okay, I forgot how these worked. So I'm going to type a name, and he's gonna go everywhere he works. So I guess I probably should say where I think they're gonna work before. And now that I've started the quiz, there is an untimed button I see. So I'll just flip that on so I can do this in a way that I'd like to make the video, So Kawhi worked for the Spurs and debuted in the 2010s. And I also thought of him for this one as well. Most recent year in the 2010s, leaving in 2018. Yeah, prior to the 2019 season. So it was in the summer of 2018. His 3-point percentage on a minimum of 500 3-pointers, which usually when it's just 3P, that means 3-pointers made, as opposed to 3PA, 3-point attempts. Sometimes you'll see 3PM, 3-pointers made, but usually when it's just 3P, that means made, which is a lot, is kind of why I'm making that differentiator. 500 made threes is a lot. So no wonder he was not able to do that with the Raptors in 2019. I'm sure in the 60 games he played, I don't even know if he got 500 attempts up. He probably didn't, actually. Probably not even close, because that would be 8.3 attempts per game. I don't think Kawhi was taking that much. He's probably in the 350 range, I'm guessing. And then, so he also debuted with the Raptors in 2018, because that's where he went right after the Spurs. And then, funny enough, still got out of there before the decade ended, after just one season and a championship as well. And he was also actually drafted by the Pacers, which is another funny thing. But he was traded on draft night for George Hill to the Spurs. And so that brings me to my next one, actually. George Hill for the Pacers debuted in the 2010s. I forgot to do it. I need to look at what else they'll work for. So yeah, he also played for the Jazz and played for the Bucks for a short time at the very end of his career, which I don't know if he's officially retired, but he has not been in the league here for the past year or so. Most recent year in the 2010s for the Jazz as well. But that finishes that column. All right, now most recent year in the 2000s for the Spurs. Most recent year in the 2000s. Let's see, did Steven Jackson make it to the 2010s? And let's look at what else he would work for. Has he played for any of these other teams? Steven Jackson. I don't think so. I guess I could maybe see him in a Pacers jersey or Jazz, I guess, because he bounced around a little bit. For Pacers. Okay, he was on the Pacers. Was he on the Pacers during he might have been there during the Alice at the Palace, actually. Yeah, I think he definitely was, now that I'm thinking about it. So that would have been like 04, 05, somewhere in there, I think. 03, maybe? I'm not sure exactly. But regardless, let's try to think of a Spur that will work. Most recent year in the 2000s, David Robinson, I guess, would work. And he won't work anywhere else because he only ever played for the Spurs. Most recent year, 2000s for the Jazz. I don't think Carlos Boozer would work. I'm guessing he got to the Bulls. Well, because he was at the Bulls in 2011. Yeah, so I know at the latest, Carlos Boozer was on the Bulls in 2011 at the latest. And I know that he was with Darren Williams on the Jazz in like the 08 range, at least, somewhere in there. So I'm not sure. Sometime in between there is when he changed teams. So I'm not sure if he'll work here or not. Carlos Boozer. He did work. So it was before the 2010s that he left Utah for Chicago. And now most recent year in the 2000s for the Raptors won't be Chris Bosh, because that was 2010. Vince Carter, though, would work. And he's played for a lot of teams, but none of these ones actually. actually. So that's the only place he'll work, I think. Or I should have looked at other Raptors things. 3-point percentage. So made 500 threes at a minimum at a 35% clip or greater. And then onto the Bucks, most recent year in the 2000s. I think Ray Allen is going to work for both of these for sure. Both of the 3-point percentage and the most recent year in the 2000s. Now to do the 3-point percentage for the Pacers, 500 made. Like, see, I don't even think Tyrese Halliburton would work. That's how many 500 3-pointers made is. I don't think Tyrese Halliburton would work, and he makes, like on a per game basis, he makes just about as much as anybody in the league. For a lot of the stretches of his career so far with the Pacers, he did not work. So somebody else, like with the Pacers, made at least 500 threes. Bojan Bogdanovic might have been there long enough. I know he was there for a number of years, and there we go. But no, he did not work for that though. I didn't even think of him on the Jazz. He did that for the Jazz, not the Pacers. But his most recent year with the Pacers was in the 2010s. So still trying to find a shooter for the Pacers. I don't think Malcolm Brogdon was there long enough, and he would have worked for other things, but names are already in those slots for all the things he would work for. With the Bucks, Brogdon, yeah, no, it just doesn't work. He was just too injured during his time there in Indiana. Didn't play enough games. I'm surprised George Hill doesn't work here for all the years that he played in Indiana. That's a little surprising. Maybe he might just be right below it percentage wise. Maybe. That's also a little surprising. Paul George, I guess, would probably work. I don't think he would work anywhere else. Paul George, there we go. All right, now for the fun one. 100 to 250 points for the Spurs. Somebody who's just barely there. Maybe Isaiah Roby. I don't know if he's gotten to 100 though. The reason why I got so excited there is because Isaiah Roby, he's a friend of the show. He's the only guest I've ever had on the podcast before. Episode 14, check it out. He was a Nebraska Cornhusker, played on the team with my brother-in-law. They were roommates in college, so that's my connection to him there. But I interviewed him in the offseason right after he signed with San Antonio, but I wouldn't be surprised if he works here, and he does. That's crazy. Nice. All right, so then the Pacers, somebody who has not played, let's see, Oscar Tshiebwe. He might not even be at 100. Tshiebwe. I think I have it spelled right, I want to say. But he might not even be to 100, because famously his first point ever was the Giannis game ball debacle. Oh, okay. I think this guy's probably over 250, but I just thought of him and have to guess him. Cassius Stanley. He was a quick in and out of the league. How do you spell Cassius? Isn't that how you spell Cassius? Yeah, I was spelling his name right. He just doesn't work, I guess. Come on, I've got to get somebody here. Pacers. Somebody who's barely played. TJ Leaf. No. Okay, I'm thinking of a player. I can't. Okay, Edmund Sumner, but there's no way he'd be below that. He's definitely above. Ricky Rubio was barely there. He might have not even played, and he doesn't work. He might not. Yeah, I don't even know if he logged a minute. But he was there after he tore his ACL that one year with the Cavs, and then finished the year with the Pacers because he got traded while he had a torn ACL, and then after the end of the season he was a free agent and then signed somewhere else. I was thinking of the rookie earlier, Taylor Hendricks, but I don't think that would work either. And I might be mixing him up with Jarris Walker again. Is Taylor Hendricks the Jazz player, or is Jarris Walker? I can never remember that. I don't know why I always mix them up. I can even picture, I know what they look like. Like Jarris Walker's he's more broad, and Taylor Hendricks is more like narrow. But I can't remember which jersey which of them wear. They were like the number 6 and number 8 picks in the same draft class, and they're like similar size and everything. So I don't know why. I just always mix them up. But I think I want to say Jarris Walker is the Pacer, and he works. All right. I'm surprised he's not gotten over 250 yet. But the Jazz, Taylor Hendricks apparently doesn't work for the Jazz. Mie Oni. How do you spell that guy's name? I just remembered a guy from like the bubble year who's on the Jazz that barely played. Mie Oni. I want to look up how you spell his name to make sure, because okay, it's an I before the Y. Mie Oni. And yep, there we go. That was definitely my favorite poll so far. The Raptors. Let's see who's the guy? He played for the Warriors for all those championship years, and then he was on the Raptors when they won the ring, so he won 4 titles in a row, even though he didn't play very much. Patrick, he's the one that he got hurt. He fell on his neck in a really weird way when Vince Carter undercut him when he was in the air. Patrick. Was his first name Patrick or was his last name Patrick? Why can I not think of his name? Patrick. I'm gonna look up his name. Patrick McCaw. I feel dumb. I don't know if he would work, but he would work. I thought maybe he played too much. All right, Bucks. A guy that's barely played so far that's currently there, Andre Jackson. I almost called him Andrew Jackson, like the president. Yep, Andre Jackson. There we go. All right, that was fun. Let me know if I should do more of these. I kind of want to. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you next video.